Hey everybody, welcome back. I mentioned in my live, the other night, I'm gonna get back to the basics. I know I've done a lot of accumulating of hand poured stuff and, some premium stuff, but I want to get back to the roots of stacking. And I've got a bunch of tubes here in front of me, or in front of us, and I want to reach out and start, maybe let's say go back to the very beginning for someone who's just starting out. And a lot of people, especially with the way our economy is nowadays, you're stacking on a budget. You can't afford to go out and buy Libertads and Silver Maples, American Eagles, that stuff. They look great. They're beautiful. They're great to look at. And they'll draw you in real quick. But starting out, you may not be able to afford all that. And again, like I've said before, this is my opinion, my take on things. And if you have another way that you want to stack, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm looking at is the easiest way to start building weight, building how much silver you have, and not breaking yourself when you do it. And my opinion on that is constitutional silver. And you're right now. I think the last time I looked, a dollar face value of quarters was 20 some dollars. And we all know that $1.40 worth of perfect condition constitutional silver will give you right around an ounce. But that 20 something per ounce is still, it's cheaper than a 1 ounce round or a 1 ounce silver coin. And I'm not going to shame you for whatever you stack. You stack what you like and you stack what you can afford. I know there's a lot of people that don't like these because they're only 35% silver. They're, the war nickels, 42 to 45. They made nickels out of 35% silver. And I mean, they're not pretty to look at. I mean, they're, grungy, dirty. You can tell they've been around for a minute, but they are silver. And something I learned just recently is when you're looking at them, if I remember right, it was 1942 that some were still made out of, they were just standard nickel or, copper nickels. But you got to look for that mint mark. Let me put my hand up here so it clears it up a little bit. You got to look for that mint mark over Monticello there. Those are your silver ones. And it's still silver. Yeah, you got to stack a lot of them to get an ounce. They're only 35%, but it's a start. You get a bunch of these, it's more silver than you started out with. And I know I've said before, silver, and there are differences, but it's a start. You look at some of these 90% quarters. Okay, here's a couple. I've only got a couple of these Standing Liberties. I mean, they are slicker than slick. I mean, you can't even read the years on them. I guarantee you right now, there's not anywhere near the amount of silver in here that was in here when it came out of the mint. It still has silver content, and it's still more than you started out with. But your constitutional silver, and here I've got some barbers that are the same way. They're slick. They're not at the weight they were when we began. And here's some Washingtons. There's some that are in better condition than others. There's some that are pretty worn, and then some that look pretty darn good, like this one. But just, I want to stay with the stack what you can afford. And there are a lot of people out there trying to do this that are on limited incomes or on Social Security. And nowadays nobody knows what the word pension means. Everything's a 401k or a 403b. So all that money you put into your retirement might not be there. Now you're retired, and what you thought was going to be, I don't know, let me throw a number out there. $2,000 a month check is only $1,400 because you lost a lot of it because they invest your money, supposedly safely invest your money, and we all know that's a joke. Or even here, peace dollars. I got a couple of those. They're not in the greatest shape, pretty darn good shape for their age, but not in the best shape. And there's a Morgan. These are things you can get. And it's, if you can afford it, just get one at a time. You got some extra money. Go to the LCS or go somewhere where you're getting the real thing, and buy a Morgan or a peace dollar to put away. But I'm really pro the get some constitutional silver, start building your stack, and then you can branch out from there. There's my Benjis, my 1963 and older, Benjamin Franklin half dollars. I've got some proofs in here. I got some rough looking ones in here. But right there, that's a little over an ounce of silver right there. It's $1.50 face. So you got a little over an ounce of silver there. These are all in like I said, again, for their age, they're in really, really good shape. So it's somewhere to start. I've got a lot more Walking Liberties than this, but as I fill a tube, I put it away and put an empty one in there. So there's only one there. These guys, most of your Walking Liberties, you're going to pay through the nose if they're imperfect or uncirculated condition. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for silver. And here you can't see any of the feathers on the eagle anymore, but it's still got silver in it, so I'm happy with it. And again, that's just my thing. And then here's another one that people don't like because it's only 40% silver. And as I've said before, not just these. I like my Ikes, and Ike silver dollars. These are 40%ers. And you can tell for the most part. This one is actually, I don't know what the heck they did there. It is a 40% silver bicentennial, but you can see a little bit of copper on the edge, but it is 40%. But yeah, most of your Ikes, even if you look at them, you can't. The copper band isn't as obvious. But again, it's about what you can afford. You got to start somewhere, and small stacks become big stacks before you know it. And of course, we have the popular ones. We have the Rosies, the Roosevelt dimes, 64 and older, and the ever popular Mercuries. I've actually seen a couple of the more popular channels have debates over what's better, Mercs or Rosies. And yeah, if and a lot of your Mercs, again, unless they're somebody kept them rolled up and they never made it into circulation, are going to be better than ones that were circulated. They're either way, I'm grabbing the Mercs. And your Roosevelts obviously aren't going to be as worn, and they're a little bit shinier or whatever. But again, stack what you can afford. Now, once you've got your base going, you've got some constitutional stuff, and still, I grew up in a neighborhood where they didn't like Canadian coins. They didn't like Canadian money at all, because we can go over to Canada and spend our money over there, but they can't spend their money over here. But even 80% Canadian silver is some really cool stuff. I've only got a couple of quarters. You know, that's something I'm working on. If you like the Canadian stuff, you can check out Canadian Silver Seeker. You know, he's on here. He does videos about once a week, and he's working on filling a bank bag with 80% Canadian quarters. I actually got my first Canadian half dollar, 80% half dollar, a while back. You know, again, you know, they're going to be a little worn. You know, they're not they're not shiny, they're not blingy, you know, but it's silver. And I haven't done the math on how many of these you have to get to make up a an ounce of silver. But I've got some 50% silver dollars, and got my first 80% silver dollar. You know, it all adds up. So that's my beginning strategy if you're new to stacking. And then as time goes on, yeah, you can get into rounds. You know, the 1 ounce rounds. I'm kind of a fan of a couple of different, well, actually those aren't rounds, those are coins. That'll be for a different video. But you know, these are probably one of the most popular silver rounds out there, the Silver Buffalo. And you know, kind of mimics the Buffalo Nickels. You know, 1 ounce of silver. And you know, this would be another thing if you're going to get these, you know, and you're on a budget, you do it one at a time. Or, you know, it's because these are usually running about 30, well, I'm not sure, I didn't look at the silver price before I got on, but you're going to pay a lower premium on these than you are on the Sovereign silver. And like I said, Sovereign silver, I'll do something with that in another video. And yes, I have some of these. I actually won this in a one of those bid, get a number, and then they spin the wheel, and whoever's number comes up wins type things on Whatnot. If you're buying these outright, you know, like from a dealer or, you know, an online dealer or whatever, you're going to pay a lot more for this because it's graded, it's in a slab. You're paying for the slab. You know, you're paying for the plastic. And that's, you know, I'm not a big fan of them, but every once in a while, I do have a box that I'm going to fill. You know, it'll probably take me 30 years to do it because I'm not running out looking for slab coins. But, you know, and this also falls into your Sovereign because it's a China Panda, 1 ounce silver Panda and this one's 2003. And this one, you know me, I'm from Michigan, and this is a 90% silver Michigan, silver proof Michigan quarter from 2004. And again, I got this for next to nothing from one of my favorite dealers on Whatnot. But slab, that's a whole different thing. Once you've built your stack, you've met your weight goal, and you want to branch out. To me, these are collectibles. These aren't stackers. These are collectors. So, and again, you're gonna pay a lot more because it's in plastic. And I would say that money that you're paying for the plastic could be used, for better things, like maybe, I don't know, maybe another coin. So just, you know, if you're just starting out, you know, start small and grow. Don't try to go in both barrels blazing and, you know, I'm buying Libertads, I'm buying Silver Maples, I'm buying American Eagles. That's all I'm stacking because you're going to be broke before you know it. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here for today. Thank you to all my subscribers, the ones that have been here for a while, new subscribers and that. We're getting back to basics here on Mishy Stacker's channel. And, you know, thank you all for coming along for the ride with me. Everybody have a great day. Keep stacking, keep hunting. Mishy's out.